Oh, goody.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Zombies here again, and today we're back with another Marvel Snap video. So we have some interesting new information here. New patch dropped today, some new features, some new data mines, all that cool stuff. So let's take a look at it. We can see here it looks like Gwenpool is going to be our season pass card for the month of July, which is fitting given the release of the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, as we can see them here in the card backs and other featured variants for the month. Then we have the new border feature. So there are two main features added in today's update. The first of which is a really good feature, which is allowing you to apply any of your previously unlocked splits across other variants of the same card. It's a feature people have wanted for a while, and I think it's a really great addition to the game. This was kind of leaked last patch notes because it was in the last patch notes but wasn't actually in the game, so kind of knew that was coming. And then the borders stuff. This is obviously going to vary person to person. I am personally not huge on the border stuff. I like customization, I like cosmetics, I like that kind of stuff. This stuff just seems too expensive to me. These are per card, so getting one of these borders for 500 or 900 gold only unlocks it for that character. And I think there's a pretty big flaw in that idea. One of the big issues I have with something like this is the cards change a lot in Marvel Snap. If you were a Zabu fan or an Alioth fan and you purchased your, let's say, gold metallic border to match your gold back on the card, and then that card gets nuked from orbit, you probably are feeling kind of sad that you spent 900 gold on something that you might never use again. That seems like a huge flaw to this. This is definitely targeted at the upper end of Wales, and to be totally honest, I don't actually find any of the current borders that appealing, at least relative to their cost. I don't think they're that much better looking to where they justify the cost. Those are the ones available in-game. We can see SnapFan Datamines, some other interesting ones like this black border, and there are different variations of this sparkle one, which previews don't load, but if we click it here, you can see there are different variations, different colors with this sparkle. Yeah, curious to see how much they charge for that. They did mention on the Discord that the plan is to provide some of these via rewards as well, so if you do like them and you want to engage with it without spending money or gold, I guess it will be possible to do that somehow in the future. But I do think they kind of got off on the wrong foot with these for a lot of people, kind of like they did with albums, where there's not too much there's not too much substance in this patch. Obviously, there are no balance changes, which people usually want. And there's no other really big features outside of the card customization, which we already knew was coming, and these cosmetic things, which you have to pay to engage with. Personally, I think it would have been a lot better if they just charged more for a border, but let it go across all cards. But I bet from a business perspective, this is probably going to make them a lot more money. I've already seen some whales shelling out to get those fancy borders. So yeah, not exactly a big fan of this implementation, and it's likely going to be a feature I end up ignoring. Also, some information about potentially a new mode or some exclusive web shop promo, web shop lucky draw promo, and a new feature, high stakes tables. So no idea what that stuff means. Maybe we'll find out next month. Character specific albums. There are references to albums for specific characters. Wolverine character album, Deadpool character album. Maybe we'll see that for the July season. I could definitely see them doing something like that. And then we have new cards. So we have Gwenpool, the season pass card. She is a 4/4 on reveal. Pick a random card in your hand 4 times. Give +2 power each time. Copycat, 3/5. When you draw this, steal the text from the bottom card of your opponent's deck. Ajax, 4/4, ongoing, +1 power for each card in play with negative afflicted power. And Cassandra Nova, 3/1, on reveal, drain 1 power from each card in your opponent's deck. There's also this Chimichanga here, which is a token for one of the upcoming locations. There is another card slated here. I don't know why it wasn't listed with these ones, but we can see it down here. That is Hydra Bob, which, to be honest, looks like it might be one of the best out of the bunch here. Hydra Bob is a 2/5. After each turn, move to another location if you're losing here. Similar design to Captain Marvel and Silk, where it kind of moves around the board, makes it hard for your opponent to calculate. And if you end up losing a location, maybe Hydra Bob will move off of it into a location that wins you the game. Interesting card. I think it's probably the strongest of the bunch. I think there's some potential here, but obviously these are July cards, so I would be surprised if these do not undergo some more changes before they release, but Gwenpool looks alright for a Season Pass card, maybe better if they unnuke Zabu. And the rest of them seem a little underwhelming to me. I think Cassandra Nova might be pretty decent. Having a Scorpion effect for like the deck, if you play it early, she gets fairly big, she makes your opponent's stuff smaller. Maybe you bounce her to apply the effect multiple times, or use like an Absorbing Man or a Wong or something. Some interesting ideas there, but nothing too game-breaking from what I see here. We also see some variants for the Young Avengers. Maybe that will be the season following up our July one in August. Could definitely see that being a thing. We have some new locations here. The Weapon X facility, discard a card to draw a card, and the taco truck, add a chimichanga to your hand. Also, Fogwell's Gym is joining the normal rotation. I think this is at a very high rarity, like Ego and World Ship. Not 100% sure on that one. Previously, this was only during like the anniversary or whatever, but now you can just have Fogwell's Gym show up randomly. It doesn't affect the game other than the fact that you'll be getting double boosters at the end. So especially a cool one to see come up in something like Conquest, where you're already getting a good amount of boosters. You can see the new Colossus variant looks pretty decent. Now they just have to make him a playable card. And then the spotlights, I don't believe many of these have changed. One thing that did change is Sage, though. Sage is the only one of the other newer cards that had a bit of adjustment here, going from a 4-1 to a 3-0. I imagine part of that has to do with the changing of Zabu, where this card probably had Zabu priced in. Now Zabu's not really as much of a thing, so they made her a cheaper card. So maybe there's something there, but I'm not overly optimistic on Sage being that great of a card personally. But yeah, spotlights, not too much has changed here to my knowledge. I think a lot of this stuff is the same as before, but we do have access to some new ones. So if we scroll through down to the July season, we can see starting out with Hydra Bob, Nebula, and Galactus, then Ajax, Darkhawk, and Beta Ray Bill. So much for the thought that Darkhawk might be dropping. It doesn't seem like that is going to be happening. Copycat, Cull Obsidian, and Thanos, and then Cassandra Nova, Proxima Midnight, and finally Hope Summers. There are also some new bundles that are going to be available. The Beast Mode bundle is going to be the one for the month of May, including Beast, 1800 credits, and the Brain Out Leave Message title. We have the Royal Hair Day, $20 for a Medusa variant and 2,500 gold. Mother's Day variant with Scarlet Witch, some credits and some gold. Another big $100 bundle with Gambit and Shadow King, as well as 8k credits and 8k gold. I'll be kind of surprised if it actually launches with both of those currencies, but even then, still a very high price point. Mjolnir's favorite, so we have a Jane variant, 2k collector's tokens, and just a random mystery one bundle. We also can see Deadpool gets an ultimate, which was used in, I think, the Conquest or PC launch trailer a while ago. And then just new variants, so a whole ton of new variants have been data mined here. There also have been variants that have been updated with their release date, so if you're looking to pick up any of these, I'll leave a link in the description so you can check when each of them are going to be releasing. Also some card backs, second dinner 5-year card back. I think that's 5 years at the studio. Deadpool ones. We have some album stuff. I believe this one was already known. I don't know if this changed at all. I think that cable's new, so maybe they did change this album. I don't remember the cable or the forge, but Steampunk was an album that was known about for a while, Datamines, so maybe that will finally be coming out. And then we have Pandora's Box Part 2, some more Pandar variants. And yeah, that's all the information that we got in today's patch. As always, Datamine stuff is subject to change. It could change, it might not. We will have to see. Overall, patch seems a little bit underwhelming. Not too big of a deal. We'll have another OTA next week for those hoping for balance changes. Would have been nice to see them try and squeeze a change or two in for some of the more underplayed or unplayable cards, but As far as meta health goes, I think things are relatively balanced right now. There's not one deck that is just kind of crushing everything. So if there's any time to happen to not include balance changes, especially ones with the patches where they're like locked in a month in advance, so they're often very strange relative to the current metagame, I think this is probably a fine time to do it. One final thing I want to note is I feel like the game is in kind of desperate need of something to kind of generate more player interest other than just bleeding whales dry, which has kind of been, feels like the focus for a lot of this year. So yeah, I don't know when that's coming. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it'll be a new game mode. Maybe it'll be something else, but game definitely feels like it needs something. We're at like the 1.5 year point right now, and unsurprisingly, some people are just not as engaged with the game as they used to be because there's really only 2 ways to play it, and they're just slight variations of each other. And I think as time goes on, that just gets a little stale when you're playing a game that has a more limited card pool, limited releases. Obviously, balance changes do freshen things up a bit, but I think there's only so much that freshens up when you're playing against a lot of the same archetypes over time. Naturally, players just want something else to do or engage with in game, so I really hope whatever mode they're working on doesn't take too much longer and it can deliver on providing players an experience that gets them more excited about the game again. Because even though balance-wise, things seem to be in a decent enough state, at least as of the recording of this, it feels like there just isn't as much interest or passion as there was a year ago. Because people want something new to engage with in the game, and it really feels like we haven't had that. Let me know what you think about the borders and whatnot. I've seen a lot of different takes about that. Ultimately, I think it's something that's kind of easy to ignore, and they'll probably make money off of it. I think a lot less people would have not as much problem with them introducing all these monetization features if they felt like, you know, there was something for not the people spending all this money, or something that helped make the base game cheaper. But so far, nothing like that in sight, unfortunately. That's going to wrap it up for this one, though. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Let me know what you think about the borders and whatnot. I've seen a lot of different takes about that. Ultimately, I think it's something that's kind of easy to ignore, and they'll probably make money off of it. I think a lot less people would have not as much problem with them introducing all these monetization features if they felt like, you know, there was something for not the people spending all this money, or something that helped make the base game cheaper. But so far, nothing like that in sight, unfortunately. That's going to wrap it up for this one, though. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.